So I'll just copy one of them from here, many to many. I'll not be creating the entity classes because it will take long time to do all that. I'll just copy the package here and paste it inside this. Okay. We have our many to many package. I'll be deleting one of the DAOs and the driver. We'll do them from first. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Whatever. We'll create a new package. It has many to many and many cascade using cascade. Okay. We have a package. We'll copy a class here and paste it over here. The person and okay, fine. Then our language class. Copy it and paste it here. Fine. Done. Now, now you can see here I have a entity class. I have an entity class of language. I have annotated this entity, annotated with ID, and there is a many to many relationship with a list of persons. Okay. So I have many to many relationship with list of persons, and we'll go to our persons. And if we check here, here also there is a many to many relationship with list of languages. Okay, and here I have said cascade equals cascade dot type dot persist. That means only persist operation should be applicable in this case. Okay, only persist operation should be we should be able to do. So your issue is we are not able to do the persist operation. Now I'll first go to my package and create a new DAO class for my person because I am persisting from the person itself. Okay, person DAO. As you can see here, I have set cascade in my person. That means every persisting operation that I'll be doing will be doing from the person DAO only. As for now, there is no requirement for language DAO. When we require a language DAO, we'll go to it. Okay. As for now, we don't have a requirement for our language DAO. We will be going for our person DAO. You just come here, copy a few things. That is our entity manager, factory, all these things. Okay. Okay. Now, just come back here. Okay, we'll type it. No issues. Okay, we have entity manager factory, entity manager, and entity transaction objects. Now I can practically start my transaction. So let's say public. Well, let's create a method for saving the person. Okay, I'm creating a method for saving the person. I'll call my person object. I'm accepting a person object as a parameter in my save person object, and I'll just say et.begin, em.persist person, and et. Okay, I am beginning the transaction, persisting the person, and ending the transaction here. Okay, now I need another method. This method is to save person. Okay, now I need another method to find person. Okay, so to find a person, if I'm finding a person, I should be returning the person. So my return type is person here. Okay, person. I'll say find person. In order to find a person, you require an ID. I'll just say int ID. Okay. Now I just say return em dot find a person, find a person of class type, and this id is the id that we have received in our method. Okay. Now I need another method. I need another method to update person. Okay. I need another method to update the person. I just say public first, sorry. For updating, you don't have to return anything. Let's keep it as void and say update person. Okay. Here, in order to update a person, obviously I have to receive a updated person object. I'll say person equals. No, sorry, person. Then here again, I'll begin my entity transaction. Entity transaction dot begin. Entity transaction. Sorry. em dot much. em dot much. Okay. Then again, I'll commit my transaction. Okay. Now we'll go to our person. Okay. We have not created a driver. We'll go to our package, create a new class, create a new class. Let's say it as driver. Yes, anyone has doubt?
Sir, we have not finded the person for updating first.
What this method is doing?
No, sir, for update, we again have to find the person, right?
What this method is doing, I asked.
Find only.
Yes. Okay. My update person object, sorry, my update person method will only perform updating operation. Whatever object I'm giving him, he will be just updating it. That's it. Okay, that method will be updating my person. That's it. It will not find which person it is. That and all it will not do.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
so we'll go to our driver. We'll go to our driver. We'll create some of employees and persons. Since we have time constraint, I'll be for copying these things from like the objects from the previous class itself. Okay, I hope you know these things and all. These things we are doing from past 1 week. Okay, just copy this, paste it over here. If you are not getting it, we are doing nothing. We are doing nothing. We just created three objects of. We just created three objects of language, and we just created. Okay, don't need to do this. Okay, we just created three objects of languages, and we have three objects of persons also. These are person objects, persons. Okay, now for the person, I am setting two languages for. Okay, the person Manjo knows languages, language one and language three. Here, language one is Hindi, and language three is Kannada. Okay, then again there is a person two. Let's say person 2 dot set languages. I'll call my inbuilt class. Okay, inbuilt class called arrays, which has a method called as list, which will create a array list for us. Okay, I just pass my objects which I want to pass. So this person Sai only knows Hindi, that is language one, and knows only language two, that is Odia. Okay, now we'll come back here. We'll come to the person. We'll come to the person three, and this person set languages. This person only knows two languages, that is language two, Odia, and language three. Okay. Fine. person 3 only knows language 2 and language 3. Okay. Now, again, I have this is a bidirectional relationship, and I have to set the persons who are speaking these languages. Okay, so I'll come here after having my persons. Okay, I can set the persons for my language. I'll call my language one and say set persons arrays dot as list. I'll pass the language one is known by the person one and person two. Okay, I'll say person one comma person two. Then I have language two. This is set persons arrays dot as list. This language two is known by person two and person three. Okay, I'll just pass person two here and person three. Okay. Now we have another language that is language three, and just set persons to it also. We'll just call our inbuilt method, or sorry, class, which has a method as list. This as list method will take the lists of languages persons here. The language three is spoken by the person one and person three. Okay, so I'll just say person one comma person three. Okay. Now I have set the data for both the objects. Now I can actually perform the insert operation. So I'll come here. Okay, it's a person join table. Fine. Join table to the person. Okay, fine. So now we'll create an object of DAO class person DAO DAO equals new person DAO dot save person three. Okay, we'll save person one on the first. Then DAO dot save person two. DAO dot save person three. Fine. Now we have saved the person three persons also. We can. I think that's it, guys. So I think we missed rename persist. Set persist your join table. Language mapped by languages. Yeah, fine. I think it's all good. We'll just run this project and see what happens. Okay, I don't have a persistence provider. I have to add my persistent.xml file. I'll just copy this, paste it over here. I have my persistent.xml file. I'll be changing the name to class 8. Okay. I'm changing my database name here. Coming to my driver here, I'll just run this, run as Java application. Okay. The different object with the same identifier. Session. This is coming. Mistakes. Sound good, but just a minute, guys. Just my Is this the error that you're getting, Parikshit, or the different one? You said roll back something.
Yeah, I got rollback exception.
Did you do did you do the same way first?
Yes, sir. I got javax dot persistence dot rollback exception.
Okay, it should not come. Sometimes it happens, but just run this program and see. Okay, you're also getting the error. Okay, I'll look into this. We'll just continue, guys. I don't know why the error is coming. It's new actually. It should work, but two persons.
Hello, sir.
Yes, who's speaking? Yes, Rutika.
So, sir, as you save persons in driver, why don't you save the languages?
You can do that, no issues. You should just make the opposite side as a cascade. Here, I'm writing cascade in my person class, so I have to save it from the person's perspective only, from the person side only. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Well, yeah. Okay. Then this one to make, this one to make. Okay, we'll look into bidirectional later, guys. I'll just figure it out. I'm not getting it. We'll look into the other operations now.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, already person class is existing in that project.
Hello, sir.
The one-to-one
I'm also
class
getting.
package.
Where? I'm not getting.
In that same project, cascade practice.
Okay.
So
There is a
it's
person class present. Okay. No, I've commented it. Don't worry. No issues about that. Yeah, commented the entity. If you can see here, it will not create the table unless you have put entity on your class. Okay. I've commented it. That is not an issue. The issue is something else. It will cause issues when you're going to bidirectional in many to many sometimes.
Also getting.
It's hard to figure out.
Sir, I'm getting
Just
one too many.
uh, you're able to do it. Okay. Anyhow, you're getting exception. Think wrong here. Persons. Person one, person two. Person one and person two has taken. 1% has taken language 1. Language 2 is taken by person 2 and person 3. Which language 2 person 2 and person 3. Perfect. And language 3 is taken by person 1 person 3. So correct. No issues. Okay. Okay, guys, I'll look into it and tell tomorrow about the many to many. We'll focus on one to many and one to one. Okay, no issues. Okay, so we'll just close this and create another package for one to one first. As as you can remember yesterday, when we were trying to update, when we were trying to update, even while having my cascade type as persist, I was being able to update it. Okay, that should not practically happen because if I say persist, only persist operation should be done on the related entity. If I say merge, if only merge operation should be done with the related entity, we'll just create another class called the user. Okay, we'll create another class called an. Okay. Now I need a table for this. I'll just say at the rate entity at the rate ID. Int. And my pan should have a one-to-one relationship with my user here in this case. So just say one-to-one is a private variable of person type, user type, user. At the rate entity at the rate ID is a private variable of private int user ID private string user name at the rate and one private pan just generate a getters and setters. We are our DTO classes are ready now. Just save it. Now I'll create another class, DAO class for user. User DAO. Okay. User DAO. Here I'll just say cascade and also join table. Let's say at the rate join table, at the rate join table, and here I'll just say cascade. I want to cascade from my users, from my user. Okay, I want to cascade from my user, so I'll be saying cascade from my user. Okay, here in the pan, since I'll set join table over there, I'll say mapped by the pan variable that is present over here in this pan variable. Okay, I'll just save and come back to user DAO. Need some entity manager entity. Just open the driver class of this driver class DTO. Okay, just copy the entity manager, entity transaction factory, entity transaction, entity manager factory. Just copy this. Over here. Now we can create we can create methods. So this is to save user. Okay, this is to save user. I'll just say public void save user. In order to save the user, I need a user type object, user. Let me just say et.begin, em.persist, user, et.count. Now I want to find the user to find user. Okay. Find the user, I'll write a method public. When I'm finding the user, I have to send back the user. That is why I'm keeping my return type as user. I just say find user, finding it by int ID. Okay. Just say return em dot find user dot class. Let's say the ID is the ID that he has given for the method. Okay. Now let my method to update user. Okay. Public void update user. Okay. In order to update user, I need to get a user object. User. Just say et dot begin em dot merge the user object et dot commit. The DAO layer is ready. I'll just create another class, that is my driver class, which is going to have my name. Okay. Let's create two objects of my user and pan. The user equals new user. Okay. Call my user, set user ID to 101 or 1. User dot set username. Okay. Now, okay. I'll create another object of pan. So pan equals new pan. Just call my pan object and say set pan ID. Let's say not one. Set pan. Say pan number. Let's do some. Now I have my user. I'll just say pan dot set user. Okay. I'll come below. Now I have to set my pan to the user. I'll call my user back. User dot set pan. Set this pan which I've just created. Okay, now I'll create another object of user DAO, DAO equals user DAO. Just say DAO dot save user. When I say save user, it should automatically save the pan also. That is the purpose of using the persist. Okay. When I say when I say save user, when I say save user, not just the user should get saved, the pan also should get saved. Okay. So we'll just see if it is getting saved. Exception. Okay. I said join table here. Sorry, guys. Okay, as you can see, we have successfully created tables and we have also successfully inserted both pan and user. We will just go to the database. Let me open my magnifier. I believe my database name was Cascade itself. Not this, I think. It was Lars. Sorry, Lars 8. Has been created. We go here, check on the tables. We have created language table, that was the previous one. Don't worry about that. We have created the pan here. You can see the data that I've entered has been successfully inserted, and we have the person table which has the foreign key of this pan. No, not person, sorry. Which has We have the user table which has the foreign key of this pan. So you can see there is a relationship for the with the user with this pan. Now we'll come back here. We have successfully inserted. Let's see if we can merge. Okay, let's see if we can merge. So if I want to merge my data, first I have to find the user. Okay. So what I will do, I'll just create a user type variable. User equals, I'll call my DAO object and say find user with the ID 1. Okay. I want to find the user with the ID 1. Now this user is having a pan. So I'll get the pan from this user. I'll just say pan equals user. I'm calling my user object and say get pan. I got the pan from my user. I want to update the pan. I want to set the number of my pan. This is the number previously I've given. I'll just give another number now. Okay. I'll just say pan dot set pan number. I'll give it as Ram at Ram 123. Okay. And the thing as Ram 123. Now I've change the data in my pan object, I have to I have to merge this pan, the modified pan, into my database. But in that case, I have to call some method that is saving the pan. But I will not be calling that. I'll be calling my user. I'll be saving. I'll try to merge my user. Okay, just call my DAO object and say update user. I am here, I'm saying update user, but the data that I've changed is pans. The data that I've manipulated is on pan, but I am saying update the user. Let's see what happens. As you can see, I have successfully updated the data in my pan table. We'll go to our database and check if it has been updated. Go to our pan. So I think I'm doing lesser charge. Yes, I have lesser charge. Okay. Where's my pan table? Okay. Okay, so here the pan table just now I have updated to RAM 123. If I say it has been updated successfully, but I have updated my user over there, but pan is getting updated. But as I said previously, where did that went? Okay, as I said previously, I have said only to persist. If I say persist, the cascading should work only for the persist operation, not for the merge operation. But still, it is getting merged. What can be the possible region? Just think. 1 minute, guys. I just put my laptop to charge. Okay. Any idea why it is happening? Any idea? Any idea, guys? Okay, no issues. So I am saying persist. I'm saying persist, but merge operation is being done. Okay, why it is been happening? I'll tell you later. But let us keep it as remove first. Let us keep it as remove and check if the remove operation. Keep it as remove. We'll keep it as persist only. We'll just check if it is happening for the remove operation in the same way. That means I'll try to remove the user, even the person. Sorry, in as you can see here, I'm trying to update the user, but the pan is also getting updated. So in this case, if I what if I try to remove the user and we'll check if I could remove the person. Sorry, if I could remove the pan also. I'll just call my let this be. Let this be. Okay. I'm finding my user in this step. I have my user. I'll just call my DAO object and say delete, delete user, delete user. Let's pass the user object here. Okay. Let's pass the user object. I don't have the method in my DAO. I'll say create method delete user in the type user DAO. It has automatically created a method for us. I'll just implement this method. Here, within it, em dot remove as the user. Okay, so when I run this program, practically in case of in perspective of updating, if we see, I am keeping my cascade type as just remember I am keeping my cascade type of persist. If I keep it as persist, other than persisting operation, other operations should not happen, but merge is happening, which is wrong. Okay, let us try with remove and see what is happening. Okay, as you can see here, only my user got deleted. Pan did not got deleted. If you want to check, let's go to our database, zoom a little bit. We'll go to our user table and just refresh this. As you can see, my user got deleted. Okay, but the associated pan is not being deleted. That means there is no issue regarding the. Okay, there is no issue regarding the delete operation, but only during the persist merge operation you're able to see this issue. Okay, say now I'll keep this as remove. Okay, I'll keep this as remove and try to insert the data. Hope I think you people are getting, and just showing the different possibilities what are happening here. Okay, this cascade is a very small topic. I don't have to teach so much actually, but I'm just showing you the possibilities in what ways it is going to behave. Okay, I'm just trying to persist another data. Let's say, keep this thing same. Change the IDs. Okay, change the IDs here. Now I'll just say Evo dot say user, but my cascade type is of remove. Remove means only it should apply for the remove operation. If I'm keeping it as remove, that means only when I'm performing the remove operation, the associated entity, that is my PAN, should be getting affected. Okay. Other than that, if I perform my persist operation, merge operation, or any other operation, it should not work. It should not work at all. Okay, but I'll come back to my driver here, save this, and try to persist. Okay, as you can see, I am getting a exception. It is telling transient property value exception. That means there is no, I am saying save the pan, set the pan. Okay, but there is no instance of this pan. I have not created it all. That means the persist operation is not happening when I say remove. Okay, the persist operation is not happening when I say remove. Let me keep it back as persist and try. Okay, let me keep it back as persist and try. Run this program back. As you can see, there is no issues at all. It got update. It got inserted. No issues. Now I'll go back to my user again. I'll change my persist to remove back. Change my persist to remove back and try to update. So see, keeping as my cascade type as remove, I was not able to persist the data. Okay, I was not able to persist the data. Can I update the data? You keeping my cascade type as persist, I was able to update the data. Okay, is it that possible with remove also? Let's check. Let's say find user of um, we'll keep this as Sam. Find user of ID 2, and I'm setting his PAN number as Sam123. Okay, we'll go to our database and first check if my data has been inserted. As you can see, the data has been inserted. The user ID is 2, the username is Sam, and the PAN ID is 102. We'll go to our PAN and check if the PAN has been inserted. I'll just refresh this. As you can see, the PAN has been inserted, and the PAN name is something a random number like this with like alphanumeric string. Okay, I'm changing it as Sam123 over there. Let us try to update it. It should practically shouldn't work. Practically, it shouldn't work. Okay, because my cascade type over here in my user is remove. Okay, just run this, see what happens. As you can see, even though it is remove, it is still getting updated. According to the theory that I've said, according to, you can see the data has been updated. According to the theory that I've said, when I say when I say remove, only remove operation should be done for the cascading purpose. Okay. When I say remove, only during that particular operation, the related entity should be affected. Okay. And when I say what persist, only during the persist operation, the related entity should be affected. But here, I am not saying merge at all. I am not saying merge at all, but I am able to update data irrespective of what the cascade type is. Okay. Why this is exactly happening is because I think you saw the same issue yesterday also, but I didn't tell why it is happening yesterday because I didn't wanted to introduce this particular topic yesterday. Okay, there is something called caching. Okay, I hope you people know about caching, at least about cache memory. In your phones also, you will be clearing the cache memory. Okay. What exactly this is we'll discuss it later after this cascade operation, but I'll tell you lightly about it. Caching is nothing but it is a temporary memory. Okay. Cache memory is nothing but a temporary memory where the data will be stored. Okay. Due to that temporary memory, I'm able to update the data irrespective of the cascade type it is. Okay. So I'll tell you how exactly it is working later. Let us try with one to many first. Okay. Do I have to go to one to many, guys? If you have not understood, I'll be going to one to many. Do I have to? Because I don't want to spend time simply when you don't have a doubt. So if you have a doubt, I'll be repeating it. Cascading is a simple topic. I hope you understood the topic. Okay, nothing more than that. I am just showing you the ways where it is, how it is behaving. Okay,
Hello, sir.
okay.
Have a
Yes,
doubt.
yes, Kutai.
So dot remove will work for updating and not for inserting in cascading, right? So am I right?
Don't take it in that way. When I
Okay.
say dot remove, that means I'm specifying my person class, user class to update the related entity. Sorry, remove the related entity when I'm performing the remove operation.
Okay.
Okay. If I say persist, only the persist operation should be possible. If I say merge, only the operation should be possible. Okay. But here, irrespective of whether it is persist or remove, I am able to update.
Yeah. Okay.
Why am I able to update? Because of the cache memory. Okay.
Okay.
There is something called caching due to that. So if you are okay with the cascade topic, I'll be moving to the cache memory topic, caching topic.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
any issues with the cascade?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any issues? The many to many part I'll be telling you guys. Even I am facing it very first time, that one. So I'll be telling it tomorrow. Don't worry. Any issues?
So,
Janardhan, are you able to hear? Yes, Ritika.
so in driver class, you perform the find operation.
In driver class?
You perform the find operation.
Yes.
So, can we perform using like beginning the transaction and then finding it?
Sorry. See, in driver class, I don't have my entity manager, entity transaction. Do I have it?
Yes, sir, right.
So only I'm creating a method to find a particular object.
Okay, sir. Understood.
Okay. Yeah. Any doubts? Janardhan, you are saying my voice is breaking. So are you able to hear me properly now at least? Okay. Fine. Now we'll be moving to the new concept, that is caching. Okay. What this caching is and what exactly it is doing in this particular process. Okay. We'll come back here. Just open my whiteboard. Just sorry guys, I didn't open my whiteboard today. It will take a little time. Just wait for a few minutes. Okay, got opened. Just be there, guys. 2 minutes. Okay, we'll be starting with our new topic today, that is caching. Sorry for that. Okay, it's the wrong spelling. Okay, caching. So you may have heard about this something called cache. So, something called cache. Okay, this is a temporary memory in your CPU. There is a temporary memory in your CPU where the small bits and pieces of information are stored. Okay, so how it works is, say I have an entity manager EM. Okay, say I have an entity manager EM. I'm calling that entity manager object and saying find. Okay, I'm saying find a person with ID 1. Okay, what this will do, it will be having its, this entity manager will be having its own cache memory. It will go search in this cache memory first. Okay, what it will do is, it will go search in the cache memory first. It will go here into the cache memory. This is cache memory. Okay, so it will go search in that small area, that is our cache memory area. And if the object that is required is not present, only then, only then it will go into the database. It will go hit the database only then. Okay, this is our database, and only in this scenario, when our particular object that I'm requesting for is not present in my cache memory, only then it will go to my database and get the data, and this particular data is sent back to this cache memory. Now what this cache memory will do is, it will make a copy of that object, that is object of id1 and then later it will send back the requested data to the user. Okay, now say I am calling my entity manager object and say find id of 1 again. Okay, what it will do, again it will go to the my cache memory. Now the requested object is already present in the cache memory. Okay, what it will do, it will return the same object to the user. If the user again requests for the same object, think he is requesting for the object same again it will go to this cache memory and return the same object. Okay, now say the user is requesting for a new object, em dot find 2. Okay, so here what is happening, it will go for the data cache memory. Since it is not present in our cache memory now, it will come back here. It will come, okay, sorry, it will go to the database. It will get the data, go here, and it will take a copy of this, of object 2. It will make a copy of the object 2. Now this particular object is sent back to the user. Okay, this is how the caching works. Okay, it's a temporary memory in the CPU where it is storing your data. Okay, why it is exactly doing this is because our database is a costly resource, and you can't keep hitting the database again and again. To avoid that, internally Hibernate is doing this. Internally Hibernate is doing this. Okay, and this type of caching is called as first level caching. Okay, first level caching. Just erase a little bit and make it a little bit neater. Okay, so that you people want to take a screenshot. Just a minute, I'll draw back these things. Let's say we are hitting the database for the second object here. Okay. Now since it is not present, it will be going for the database. It will get the data from the database. It will make a copy of this data and then send that particular data to the user. Okay. When a user requests back for the data, when a user requests back for the data, it will send that same object to the user. When a user requests new object, it will not be present. Now it will go for the database and get back the database data for the cache memory. Then it will send the data. Okay, fine. Now imagine, I have another entity manager. Say entity manager 2. Okay, entity manager 2. Okay, now through this, if I call find the person with ID, it will not go to this cache memory. Instead, this entity manager will have its own cache memory. Every entity manager has its own cache memory. Okay, this is also a cache memory. Okay, so when I say find a person of ID 1, now it will not be going to the it will not be going to directly to the database. First, it will go to its own cache memory where it doesn't has the ID 1. Okay, it is present in the entity manager 1 cache memory, but it is not present in the cache memory of entity manager 2. Now it will again hit the database. It will get the data back. Now it will make a copy of this particular object 1, and then it will send back the data to the user. Say if he is requesting second time for the same object, now again it will go to the cache memory. The data is present. It will return to him back. Okay. Now, if a person again requests for the if another person object of ID2, obviously again it will go to the cache memory. It will check for it. It is not present. Now it will hit the database, get the data, make a copy of it, and then it is given back. Okay. So, as I said here, if I use another entity manager, I should not be able to uh, get the get the memory. Here I have used, in my project I have used I have used an entity manager which imagine it has a pan and user data. Okay, imagine it has a pan and user data. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll create another entity manager and try to do the same operation that I've done before. Okay, I'll come back to my Eclipse. As I said here, I'll say persist. If I say persist, only persist operation should be done. Okay, I'll come back to pan. Everything is fine. We'll come back to DAO. Here, as I said, I have an entity manager here. I have an entity manager, entity transaction. This entity manager, this particular entity manager has a cache memory maintained, and in that, my PAN and user details are stored. That is why I'm able to update. That is what I'm saying. Okay, we'll see if it is true or not. I'll copy this and declare a local variable also here. Okay, I'm declaring a local. Don't get confused with it is same. It is the same name, but the priority, you know that for the priority will be given for the local variable always. Okay, not for the global variables. So this one will get executed. If you have doubts, you just say two entity manager two transaction two entity manager two. Say two, two, and two. Okay, so I have a different entity manager here where for which I'm trying to using which I'm trying to merge the data. Okay, I'll go back to my driver and try to update this with some random data. Okay, with some random data. Previously it is Sam. Okay, previously it is Sam. Let me try to update this data. As you can see, did I generate any update query here? Did I generate any update query here? It tried to select the data. That's it. It just selected the data, but it did not update any data for me. Okay, let us go to our database and check. Let us go to our database and check if the data has been updated. Can you see? Nothing is updated. The data that I tried to update is not getting updated at all. This data. Are you getting? Did you get what I said? I created another entity manager itself. According to the theory, I said, if I have another entity manager, that entity manager will not be having the data of this. Okay. Now let us see. Now let us see here. We'll okay. So any doubts on this? Any doubts on this? On caching? So you got the answer why exactly the update operation we were able to perform, even though my um, what my cascade type was persist or remove. Ritika, you have any doubts? You can speak. I'm not able to hear you, Ritika. Not understood, Ritika. What exactly you didn't understand, Ritika? Not Ritika, Ritika. Ritika, please come up and speak.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Ritika.
As you said right now that you were finding the object for
Okay.
user,
Okay.
and then it will go to the cache memory,
Okay.
and again it will go to the database and will search for the particular ID. and it
Okay.
will give back to the cache memory. Means
Okay. Yeah.
I'm getting how it's only working on update only.
See, previously I used something called Entity Manager, that is EM. Do you remember?
So,
Okay, just remember this diagram. Okay, just remember this diagram. Here I am using an object of Entity Manager and Entity Manager 2 here. Okay, if I use an Entity Manager, for one Entity Manager, there is a one cache memory. Okay,
yes.
for another Entity Manager, there is another cache memory. Okay. So once I declared this entity manager globally and tried to process my data or find my data, whatever I do, the data will first be saved into my cache memory, and then it will go to my uh, what my database.
Database.
Okay, it will have cache memory will always have the data. Okay. Now I declared another entity manager, a different entity manager itself, which has no idea of this particular data. Okay, which has no idea of this particular data, but I'm trying to update.
Okay.
Okay, so here I have my pan and I have my person here. Since I persisted previously, this entity manager's cache memory is having that pan and person data.
Yeah, right.
I use this entity manager, right? But here, this entity manager too has no idea which pan, which person. What it will
Okay.
do, it will take my request, go check in the cache memory. There is no pan or person. So what it will do, it will try to update my person. But there is no pan again. Here in this case, pan and person both were there.
Okay.
Okay. Here in this case, my pan and person both were not there. It went to the database carrying only my person. Okay. Carrying only my person. And this person didn't had an instance of pan. So
Okay.
it was not able to update.
Okay.
Did you get it or you didn't get it? I can repeat it again in a different
Sir,
way if you
it's
want.
little confusion, sir. I'm not getting it. Means,
Tell me
like
where
you
you are not
said,
getting. Yeah.
in cache memory,
Mm.
you will search for, sorry, the user ID will be searched in the cache memory or will be saved in the cache memory.
Yes.
But as in the EM2, we don't have the user details and the PAN details,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
how it will be able to save the user details in the database?
The cache memory doesn't has the user details. That is why it is going to the database and checking it. You're getting it.
Okay.
Okay. In the previous way, in the see in the entity manager too, I don't have either my person or pan. Okay,
Yeah,
it
right.
doesn't has any data. It will go to my oh, sorry, it will go to my database and try to update my user. But again, this user doesn't has the instance of pan because I have set my user to perform only persist operation. Here, if you see, I have set my user to perform only persist operation.
Yes,
Okay,
right.
I have set only persist operation. Previously I was using this entity manager, which was the previous entity manager. This entity manager has the instance of pan. Even though my user is not creating the instance of pan, just explain it in a different way. See here. Okay, so when I said persist, if I say only persist, practically it should only persist. Okay, so when I say save user, when I say save user, what happened is first the request went to the cache memory. It will pass through the cache memory. Here, When I say only persist, what it will do is when I'm sorry, not save, sorry. When I say update user, when I say merge this user, what will my user object will do? I said in my user, I have said only to persist. Okay. What it will do, it will not the create the instance of my pan. This my user table will not create the instance of my pan, only sends the user. It will think my user is updated, not the pan. Okay.
Okay.
It is practically like I'm trying to update the user. It will not know that I'm trying to update the pan internally. Okay. So it will not create an instance of pan, it will send to the cache memory. It will send to the cache memory. Here my pan instance is there already. Yes,
Yeah.
right. I have an instance of cache memory, instance of pan in cache memory. Now
Okay.
it will carry these two objects and save it into the database, update it into the database. That
Okay.
is why update operation was happening. If I'm using another entity manager too and say merge, okay, user, I have persisted using my entity manager of 1. Okay, here entity manager 2 has no instance of this user or pan. It will carry my user, it will carry my user and come to the cache memory. There is no user present, there is no pan present. It will go to the database. It will try to update the user. Okay, it will try to update the user, but here the pan's data has been changed. It will not update at all.
Okay.
Sorry. This is not the right way they said. Sorry for that. Okay. So basically, while updating, forget about Cascade. When updating the pan, say I'm updating a user. Okay. If I change any data, say I set the name, only then it will perform the update operation. Without changing any data, if I try to update my user, there is no operation performed. As you can see in the output here, as you can see in the output here, there is no update operation performed, but the select query has been executed.
Yes.
There is no update operation or performed. That's what it is doing. Okay, we'll learn more about caching. Don't worry. I'll
Okay.
show you how exactly it is working. Let us just create another package. Let's say caching. Okay. Another package caching. Let's say new class. Let's say item. A class name as item. Let's say at the rate entity. I'm not playing with the relationship here. I'm trying to make you understand what cache is. Okay. At the rate ID, I'll say private int ID ID private string name. That's it. We'll generate getters and setters. Generate getters and setters. And here I'll create another class called test. Okay. I'm creating another class called test. Here I'll create a main method main method and create an object of item. Okay. Item equals new item. Okay. Item dot set ID, let's say 101. Item dot set name, let's say book. Okay. Now I have to create entity manager, entity transaction, all these things. We'll just copy from our DAO here. Okay, I just copied it from my DAO. Now I'll just say et dot begin em dot persist the item id dot commit. Okay, I'll just run this program. The data got inserted. We'll go check our database. If the item table has been generated. As you can see, the item table has been generated here. Okay. Now, what I will do, just comment this. I'll call my entity manager object. Okay. And name this as em1. Okay. Entity manager 1 em1 dot saying find item dot class, let's say the ID of 101. Okay. I'm trying to find the ID 101. Okay. Now I'll directly print this object, what the output it is going to give. Let's say X. This out. Okay. Run this program. As you can see, if the query is generated, that means it is hitting my database. Okay. If the query is generated, why would the query gets generated? To talk with my database, right? So in this case, my query has been generated. That means it went to the database. Okay. It went to the database, then only it got me the object. Okay. Now, what I'll do, I'll just call this once again. Can you see here? When I requested my object of 101, it went to the database first. It went to the database first. Okay. Fetch the object. Then later, it gave me the object. Again, when I wanted the same object, it didn't go to the database. It directly gave me the object. How it is giving? It is giving from the cache memory. Yeah, fine. Okay. Now I'll persist on other data. Let's see, I'll persist on other data. I'll just comment this. em dot em1 dot persist item dot commit. Okay. I'm trying to persist another data, that is 2. Let's say this is pen. Okay. Run this program. Okay, the data got inserted. I just comment out these and try to find the object 2. Okay, that is ID 102. Okay, let's copy the same line. Copy the same line, and I'll say find the item of ID 102. Okay, I'll run this program. As you can see here, for finding the item of ID 101, it went to the database. Okay, later after this, when I wanted to find again, it directly got me the object without going to the database. Okay, when I requested for a completely new object, it doesn't has it in its cache memory. Okay, it doesn't have it in its cache memory. Again, it hit the database. For item 102, it hit the database, got me the data. Okay, now what I'll do, I just copy this. I'll hit it 2 more times. Okay, what happens? As you can see here, when I asked for the ID item of ID 101, It hit the database. When I asked for the second time, it did not. When I asked for the data of ID of item of ID 102, it went to the database, fetched it, and another two times it didn't go to the database at all because it is getting it from its cache memory itself. Okay, that's it. I think no doubts about this. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, mic not working. Ritika, yes,
Hello, sir.
Ritika. Yes, yes, Ritika.
Sir, means if we are having a copy value in the cache memory, so
Yeah.
suppose we have operation persist, so we can also we have like we have seen update is working, so that remove operation will also work.
No.
But sir, we have a value in the cache memory, na, then
Yes,
it
it
should
only
work.
happens for the update. Okay, it only works for the update. To avoid that, we will be creating another entity manager inside our update method. That's it. If we want to avoid that, otherwise it's fine.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any doubts? If there is any doubts, you can ask me. No issues. What's the time? I don't know what's the time is. Oh, it's this time, bro. Sorry,
Sir,
there's no time.
in the
Yes,
sir, the
yes.
value in the cache memory, how it get deleted, or it's permanently there for,
No, 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 no. When the
or manually we
it
can
will
just.
get deleted over time. Okay, it will get deleted. Actually, we don't know how cache memory works internally. Okay, but it will be storing the data. That is for sure. Okay, yeah. There is something called second level cache memory, but we don't have that much time to finish that topic. I think so. Yes, Rutika.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Rutika.
Can we simply say like this? In
Yes.
EM1, we try to persist the data. Sorry,
Yes.
EM. And
Yeah.
EM1, we try to update the
Yes.
data.
Yes.
If the data is not present in the database,
Not the
so
database,
yeah,
in the
so
cache
it will
memory.
return us the object of the cache memory, right?
Sorry, you're talking about persisting and updating, and you're telling it will return an object. What exactly are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that if the object, sorry, the data is not present in the EM1, it will go to the database and it will say,
Oh, during the finding operation you're talking about.
no, sir, the thing you explained right before few minutes ago.
Are you talking about the find operation, or are you talking about the persist and update of merge operations?
Persist and merge operation.
See, during persist and merge, what it is happening is you can very clearly see here. Previously, I was not being able to update the data. Okay, I was using this entity manager and entity transaction here also
Yes, sir.
before declaring this both. Was that correct? I was using my entity transaction of which was declared outside. Okay, which was used previously for saving operation also. Okay, using that, I was not able to. I was able to update the data because there was the memory present in the cache memory. Okay, there was data present in the cache memory. When I used completely different entity manager and entity transaction, okay, this entity manager has a new cache memory. Now it is not being able to update the data. Very simple.
That's what I'm trying to say. If the data is not present in the database,
Hmm.
it will simply return us the cache object, right? Means it won't update the data.
See, it won't update the data. It will not return any cache object. Okay, when there is no data present in the cache memory, how will it return? You're mixing up the finding operation and the updating operation. Okay, these both are different. I am not finding
Uh,
any data. I am not finding any data while updating. Okay, why would it return anything to me?
but in output we got as caching dot item address.
Sorry.
In output, we
See,
got the
you have got confused. Sorry, Ritika, for confusing you. See, we have created another entity called item. Okay, we have created another entity item, and only we performed the find operation and showed you how exactly it is working. As you can see here, I have not performed update or delete anything. I have shown you the find operation. Okay, to show that, in practically to show that whenever you're using a different entity manager, your cache memory is different. Okay,
okay.
I think I have used a single entity manager. Sorry for that. I'll be showing that also. Okay. Whenever you're finding whenever you're finding the data from a single entity manager, that is EM1 in our case, for the first find operation, it went to the database. For the second find operation, it didn't go to the database because I'm requesting for the same object. Okay. It had the copy. It had the copy of my object that I previously found. It just returned me the object, the same object. Here also, I'm finding a complete new object which my cache memory has no idea of. Okay, so it went again to the database, found that data, okay, and gave it to me. And again, two times I fetched the same data. It did not go to the database. It directly gave it from the cache memory. If you want the live demonstration of it, just see here. As I said you, just one time, only for one time, it went for the database for finding the first two objects. Okay, and when I'm fetching the third object, it did went to the database because it did not have the copy of it. Okay. Now again for the fourth and fifth find operations, I have the data in my cache memory. Why would it go to the database? It just got
Okay.
it from the same place. This is to make you understand what this cache memory is doing. Okay. Don't relate it to the DAO here.
Okay.
Okay. I've introduced cache memory using this DAO to show the requirement while doing projects. Okay, just a minute, guys. You have a call from your corporate office for the requirement, I think. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you had it? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes, yes. You can. You can.
Oh, thank you, sir. Hello, guys. So good evening. Am I audible? Yeah. So this is Shweta from Web Online. So today I'm here to announce your requirements. So I'll be sharing the screen now. Hope screen is visible. So here we have a requirement for trainee software engineer, trainee engineer, and Android developer. So all the three requirements are offline interviews only. That is in Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. Okay. So guys, you can take the screenshot of this. So once you're done with your class, go through with the requirements clearly. And if you meet any of the criteria, ping your details to the HRs. And for all the three requirements, we will update you the interview date. But for registration, you need to ping your details by tomorrow itself. Okay. Is it done? Shall I stop sharing the screen now? So guys, I'm stop sharing the screen now. And as you know, you need to ping your details like your name, contact number, along with the deal name. Okay. And guys, on Monday we are starting verbal English class with the two different time slots, and it has been handled by Reshma ma'am, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So those who want to attend verbal English class, they can start attending from Monday. Okay. And I've shared you the class link in your broadcast with a trainer name and a batch code. all the details I've shared you in broadcast. Go through with that and attend the classes. Okay. So that's it from my end. And if you have any queries, you can get back to us. We will help you out. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you, sir.
Hope you all can see the screen. Coming back here. Oh, I think I was right here. Okay. So now we got to know, we tried to fetch the data using Entity Manager 1. Okay. I just fetched the data using Entity Manager 1. I just saw something. Using EM2. EM2. Do we have any? Why it is showing?
Double quotes.
Oh, sorry. So now I'll create another entity manager. Why is it again? Conversion. I'll create another entity manager here. I'll say it as EM2 and get a transaction from that entity manager. EM2. Okay. Okay, I created a new entity manager here. So I just list out the same things. Okay, but what I will do is I will use the entity manager 2 object instead of 1. Okay. Now, what will happen is, for finding my first object, it will go to the database. For finding back the same object, it will not go to the database, it will get it from the cache memory itself. Okay, here in same place, it will go to the database for finding the second object, and it will not go for the database for finding it for the second time the same object and for third time the same object. And here, since I'm using a complete different entity manager, this entity manager has no idea of which data it is having. Okay, so again, it will hit the database. For the second time, it should not hit the database. And for the third time, I'm fetching a different data, it will hit the database again. So practically, it should hit the database 4 times. Let's see what it is going to do. As you can see here, it has been hit the database 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, and 4 times. And this is using the entity manager 2 object. Okay. I am finding the same object here. This is the same object that I have found here. Okay, even though it is the same object, it is hitting the database again because this is a different entity manager. Here also I'm finding the same object. As you can see, I'm finding the same object with the same ID. Even though it is present in the entity manager of 1, this entity manager is having a different cache memory itself. It is finding it again from the database. Once it has the data, it is not going to the database again. That's it. Any doubts regarding caching? Any doubts regarding caching?
No, sir.
No, right? Once we delete the data from the database, if it gets deleted from cache also, sir. Yes. Yeah. Any doubts? Mamata is asking, sir, how cache memory requests data to the database? We have no idea how cache memory is internally doing, Mamata, to be honest. Okay. First of all, we have no idea how the server is storing the data. Okay, we will not. No one will know that. It is storing the data. It is a database. What is a database? Even my head is a database. My brain is a database. It is storing the data. Do I know how my brain is storing the data? It is some random space where data is getting stored. That's it. Just like that. We don't know how these particular databases, memory spaces are actually working, but they store data. That's it. Any queries, guys, regarding cache memory and regarding Cascade specifically? Any doubts? So can we wind up our session today? Sir, I didn't give much. Set, begin, and commit only have given, even though it worked. Sir. Any? Sorry, Vinod. I didn't understand your question at all. Can you come up and speak? Vinod, if you have queries, please come up and speak. There are people who are coming up and speaking. No. Otherwise, I'll be winding up the session now. No issues? I think you have no doubts. Guys, what are your topics? Will be having any time soon? Okay, I'll not tell which date. Programming picks you need. Okay. This is this is for the item class. You can take the pick. There is something called second level caching. I'll be doing that tomorrow for you people. Okay. If you just try researching about it today or tomorrow when you get a time, and practice on Cascade, guys. But Cascade is like you cannot use it everywhere. Just like I said, you in many to many also there is some issue. I will be clearing that issue tomorrow. Don't worry. So you cannot use Cascade everywhere. There is some restrictions also. It depends what type of relationship it is, whether it is uni or bidirectional or unidirectional. Depends. I took you. I hope you took this screenshot. Take a screenshot of this also. Okay. Take a screenshot of this. I hope you people are done taking a screenshot of this. I'll be showing. I don't think I have to show the user that I done lately because you people know these things from very beginning. We're doing one-to-one relationship from a week almost. Okay. Any doubts? Any doubts? Can we wind up the session today? If you have doubts, please clear it. I'm again and again asking you people because there are some people hesitating to ask back. See, if you have not understood, no issues. You can ask the query 101 time with me. Okay. I'll try to make you understand in a different way if you have not understood. But I will not be repeating the concept after 2 days. So on that day or the day after that, you'll be having a chance to ask your doubts. You have to ask doubts within that time only. Okay. In mock, it will just, yes, even Hibernate can be, Ritika. In mock, um, not just Hibernate, even JDBC can be. Okay. I have, I think everyone has received the notes. No issues with that. I have sent the notes to everyone. Okay. So I hope you all received the notes. So no issues now. You can answer, I think, if I give the JDBC questions also. So not just Hibernate will be. There is no second notes. Sir, where you sent it the notes? There are people saying yes. I have shared it in public, not personally. I have shared everyone. Your people are in Discord, right? In Discord, I have shared it in that channel. Yes, it is surprising that you have not checked it, Ritika. I'm sharing the notes over there. There is a channel called Notes and Resources.